I want you guys to think about this scenario. You need to go to the post office to drop off a little parcel. You check Google Maps, saying, okay, good, it's not busy. I'm going to go now. You drive on over there, get your parcel out, you walk in, you kind of see the UPS store as normal. And in front of you, there's a nice little old lady. And then there's one teller. She walks up and you're going, okay, I can't wait to get out of here so I can go eat because I'm starving. And then 15 minutes go by and she is still somehow getting helped at the counter. And now you're hungry and you're wondering, when is this going to end? And then she finishes. Finally, she finishes. She walks out, she waves to you, say bye. You walk up and the cashier goes, hold on, I'm going to go take my 10-minute break. I'll see you in a bit. How are you feeling right now? How are you feeling? If you're like me, you'd probably be pretty irritated. So today's video, I'm going to go over how I navigate negative emotions and how I harness that into rocket fuel to do productive things. So number one, if you get irritated or annoyed or feel some kind of negative emotion, you need to ask yourself, is this an injustice or is this an incorrect perception of the world? Now, I'm navigating negative emotion because positive emotion are fleeting and usually you're having a lot of fun. And if you're feeling a positive emotion, just enjoy the positive emotion. Those come are sporadically, right? So enjoy it while it's there. A negative emotion, however, generally has the ability to derail your productivity of the day. Sometimes, especially like, let's say there's someone who at your work who missed eating lunch, for example, eating lunch. Someday you're going to hear them say about like, oh, I didn't eat lunch today. So busy at work. So busy at work. It's hard for me to concentrate because I didn't eat lunch. And their whole day of productivity is just collapsed because of something like that, right? Now, back to the original question. If whether you're in the moment and this is happening, you can recognize it right away. Or if you're journaling at night like you should be, so you can track and improve your systems, ask yourself, is this an injustice or is this an incorrect perception of reality? Now, an injustice is something where, let's say, you hear about a family dying in a DUI accident and it was because of another drunk driver and they're driving home. They're just driving home, they hit the family passed away. That's an injustice and you feel kind of sad. Congratulations, you're human. You should feel sad about events like that. Now, if it's not that, it's an incorrect perception of reality, meaning what you expected to happen did not actually happen. So in this case, you're expecting to go in and out really fast, but you saw a little old lady, you probably added a little bit of time, but not 15 minutes worth of time. And then you started getting irritated after that little mental tickle in your head. So in the future, when you're writing that down, you're recognizing you should go, okay, in the future, I need to allocate more time for that, for when that happens. So that way my expectation can meet reality and I won't be upset. It's very similar to if you know that someone lies all the time, they're just a liar. And for some reason, they just lie all the time and they tell you a lie and you figure out it's a lie, but you already know they're a liar. You're not going to be upset by it. Versus if you don't know they're a liar and then you have this perception it's a truth, you find out later it's a lie, then suddenly you're upset, right? It's just managing your expectations for what's around you. So as you're writing things down in your journal, you're figuring out, okay, is this an injustice and I should be upset? Or is this a bad expectation of reality and I can adjust my philosophy accordingly so I don't feel as upset next time this happens? Now, whether or not you do one or two, doesn't matter. One's a good learning experience. One is a good gut check. The second step is sometimes after you do that, you're still pissed. You are still upset at what's happening or what had happened and it's affecting your day. What should you do? Well, in Taekwondo, one of the biggest things I learned in Taekwondo, and I'm so thankful for, and the reason I'm for people doing sparring or having their kids in a combat sport is because it teaches you this really quick. It teaches you emotional control very, very fast. And how do I mean? Well, in Taekwondo or in sparring, or let's say in movies, the main character gets hit, he gets super mad, He has all these flashbacks of his friends and who's counting on him. He gets up, he gets superpowers, and then he just beats the bad guy. In sparring, it doesn't happen like that. If you get upset in sparring and you show your partner that and you just run straight in, then you are going to get kicked in the face. That's just what happens. And I did that multiple times. That had happened to me. And then I had learned, okay, you can't do that. You need to keep your emotion under control and channel it properly. And then as I got older, I also noticed the same thing. Well, this dude is really pissed and it looks like he's going to run it in. Sure enough, he ran in, kicked him in the face again. Let him know you can't do that in sparring. You need to keep this under emotional control properly. And then from that, what you need to do is channel that energy into something positive. So for Taekwondo, what I did when I was growing up as a teenager, if I got really upset, I would just drive to the Taekwondo gym and practice my technique. And so that did two things. One, let me get out my stress. And number two, my technique got a lot better because for the X number of minutes, hours, however long I was in there, I was focusing purely on my technique. Now, if you don't have that luxury to go to a Taekwondo studio, that's all good. What I would suggest, or what I do at home, is sometimes I'll spend that time helping clean around the house, right? Sometimes it's just working more on the classes I'm taking or classes I'm studying right now. Sometimes it's one of those. And so I'm channeling that negative energy into something positive to help my situation in the future. Now, the reason I'm making this also is because I've noticed that sometimes if people aren't eating properly and then they're watching the news a lot, then they're just upset and sad all the time. And that's all this potential energy that you could be using towards something productive. So if you are upset, figure out why. And then if you're still upset after, whether or not it's a learning experience or a gut check, use that emotion for something positive. Use that emotion to progress your life forward, because time is short, and I think you should be maximizing your life as much as possible. Being upset about a situation you have no control over isn't going to help your life at all. So that's it for today's video, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.